Hello everyone, in this video I'll be discussing even more reasons as to why I think the mysterious figure is such a terrible boss fight. In my initial video, I did cover a lot of the flaws I and many others personally have with this fight, however there were some I did not elaborate on, or others that I completely forgot to mention entirely. As a result, they will all hopefully be covered in this part 2. But before we begin, there is one misconception I had about Birth by Sleep that I would like to mention. In my previous video, I recommended you use Cura for the fight against the mysterious figure, because even though it doesn't heal as much, it has a lesser cooldown than Curaga does. However, thanks to Johan Godo Jolo 8652, I've been informed that this is not the case, and all 3 Cure abilities have the same cooldown in Birth by Sleep. So a big shout out goes to him for addressing my mistake in the previous video, but without further ado, let's continue tearing this boss fight to shreds. To begin on what could be considered a more dull element of the fight, the location the fight takes place in is simply boring. I understand that from the developer's point of view, some players may not actually return to the land of departure, and this is to show those who do how much ruin has been laid upon it, but I don't think this is a fitting location for the fight, especially since the mysterious figure is actually young Xehanort looking for vessels for the real Organisation 13. Thankfully, this is somewhat rectified in Final Mix, considering that the armour of Erica's Superboss also takes place here, which despite being a somewhat mediocre Superboss, is much more fitting for this environment. However, the mysterious figure himself is not moved from his location. I think a more fitting location for this fight would have been the Keyblade Graveyard, considering in the final act all the villains actually are there. However, I don't think they did this simply because Vanitas Remnant is in the Keyblade Graveyard, and considering they were both a part of the original PSP release, I don't think they wanted to change anything in that regard. While I did mention it in the previous video about Mysterious Figure, I feel as if it would be worth it to discuss why Once More does not actually work against him. There are a variety of reasons as to why Once More can fail in this fight, but despite the fact they are all thoughts of Birth by Sleep, they do not add to this fight and make it worse than it would have been without them. The hits done on the player in Birth by Sleep is very bad, much so than either Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, which can lead to impossible scenarios like this where no matter what I'm going to get hit by the mysterious figure's attack and die. Command styles do not help this issue either, as when you go into a different command style, your Once More is no longer activated as you no longer have any iframes. This is not beneficial if you're in a combo with the mysterious figure, as it allows him to lead into another hit and kill you very quickly. Here's another example of this in action. The mysterious figure does his 2-hit combo, and as soon as I change command styles I instantly die. The player doesn't choose when command styles are activated, so therefore it is poorly designed by the developers. Most people play Birth by Sleep through the HD remixes on modern platforms now, but Birth by Sleep was originally a PSP game, and the mysterious figure actually had one flaw that thankfully was fixed in the new versions of the game, that being that the air stab would always lead to you getting killed. There would be some occasions where you'd be very lucky, but most of the time the grab itself and the follow-up hit would kill you, or if not, the follow-ups he would do on the ground would. If you weren't to die in the air, the mysterious figure would begin his long combo chain, which unfortunately will kill you every time simply because Once More doesn't work in this fight. Despite the game trying to encourage you to use them, the endgame commands in Birth by Sleep are essentially useless against the mysterious figure, simply because they do not do much damage or they are too slow to even try and attack him with. As you just saw, if you get lucky with the mysterious figure's movement and you're able to learn Triple Fire Raga, otherwise you won't because it's bad homing. And with Triple Blizzaga, there's not even a point to bring it in the fight simply because it doesn't have homing in the first place and requires good luck to get all 3 shots off. And to show examples of another character, Limit Storm, Sacrifice and Ars Solum for Terra hardly do anything simply because they are too slow to even come out and will probably not hit him if they do. The mysterious figure is also impacted by Birth by Sleep's lack of revenge values and hit stun. Hit stun is a fairly common mechanic in action RPGs where the player character will damage an enemy and they'll be knocked back from their hits. However, revenge values were implemented in Kingdom Hearts 2 to prevent infinite combos being performed on enemies and to allow them to break your combos in return. Revenge values helped a lot in Kingdom Hearts 2's boss design, as after a certain number of hits on the boss you would actually need to defend yourself. But unfortunately, neither mechanic exists in Birth by Sleep, and therefore the battle can quickly become a war of attrition between you and the mysterious figure to see who can output their moves faster. As I found out myself from my several attempts to beat the boss for the first time, if you are careless in how you attack him, you can quickly lose what would have been a winning run. Also, I didn't mention it last time, but I'd just like to clarify that I also think the time freeze is a terrible move. It essentially invalidates any potential regular combos you could do, and added with his movement speed, it's really not great. If you're trying to do this fight with regular combos, then good luck to you, because your progress will be reverted quite a bit. And it isn't as if his movement speed helps with this either. In a game where characters move as slowly as this, there should be no reason as to why the boss can fully just tackle and sprint at you. I don't know, maybe it's a remnant from when the game was being developed for PS2 and stuff could be faster. Now that I have discussed more reasons as to why this boss fight is so horrible, I would like to provide some other strategies you may want to use, as provided by the people from the comments in the last part. The best magic to use for this fight is Zero Graviga. Even though it doesn't do much damage, it does better than any of the other magics you can cast, and arguably you could probably beat the fight with just Zero Graviga alone, as long as you still have a bunch of cures on you. I would personally not recommend it over Thunder Surges, but if you want to beat the fight using magic, please use Zero Graviga, and maybe if you're playing Aqua 555 Raga, but as I mentioned, it's not that great. While dodge rolls have more practicality in this fight, blocking can still be used to some extent against certain moves. For example, you can use it against the clones that the mysterious figure hands out, you can use it against the X emblem he shoots at you, and you can also use it to counter his general combo spam. If you are lucky, you may actually be able to follow up with a reprisal too, but don't expect that as he may use time stop on you. This comment mentions you can use Dark Impulse like you can negative combo in the fight against Lingering Will. However, I found it very useful to use Random End while testing for this, as it gives you some invincibility and it's useful for certain attacks such as the clones. However, by using Random End, you can get punished pretty hard by the boss. And my apologies as I cannot find the comment that mentioned it, but I did completely forget about the Peter Pan D-Link strategy in my last part. If you are lucky, you can use the finisher from the Peter Pan D-Link, Sword Bill, to defeat the boss in essentially one go. It completely obliterates his health bar and makes him an absolute joke. However, this glitch is prone to crashing the game and is very hard to actually execute, so I wouldn't recommend trying to go for it as your main strategy. And with that, I think I've finally given my full piece on this boss, so hopefully you guys understand as to why I dislike it so much, and hopefully you learnt something about the boss in these videos, whether that can be a strategy you can use against him or a tip about the boss's design you didn't know about. However, before I go, there are 3 things I'd like to tell you guys about before the end of the video. If you guys didn't know, I'm now live streaming on this channel, and while we're not doing Kingdom Hearts streams just yet, we are playing plenty of other games that I'd hope you guys can enjoy with me. Our next stream will be at tomorrow at 7:30 GMT, and after this video goes live, I'm going to post a poll to let you guys vote on what you'd like to see in that stream, so I hope to see you guys there. I would also like to note that my next video will not be Kingdom Hearts related, but I hope that doesn't put you off from watching it, as I hope to make it a great video either way. And just as a last notice, because I made you guys wait for this video for so long, the footage you can see in the background is actually in the description of this video, as it is a no-hit run of the mysterious figure with Ventus. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, I hope to see you guys in my next stream, and yeah, I guess that's about it. See ya.